All right, we are live, Lions fans. Welcome back to the Lyons Den Podcast. Today, we are coming to you after the first wave of free agency hit off a couple of days ago. We're going to talk about some free agents, who we signed, who's not signed, and even our mock draft. So hang tight and get ready to enjoy the show.
Yeah.
All right, son, it's been an exciting week for our Detroit Lions. They have signed free agents. We have actually seen some guys come and go, but that's just the nature of the business sometimes, right? I mean, we pick up guys, we lose guys that we like, but sometimes that's just the nature of the beast. So let's first of all, I want to get your thoughts on, before we go over this list of everybody the Lions have signed. Let's talk about who they have not signed. We lost Deshaun Elliott. I forget who he went to, but I know we lost
He
him.
went to the Dolphins.
Thank you. Okay, that's who it was, the Dolphins. And we lost the big one, Jamal Williams, that had a lot of Lions fans upset. So let me get your thoughts on Jamal Williams. What did you think about us losing him?
Yeah, I was pretty upset that we lost him too, just because he really was a huge leader on the team. We really saw him a lot in the Hard Knocks, and he gave honestly, he definitely was a leader. I mean, he gave a lot of heartfelt speeches and things like that, and he also he brought a lot to the community. He was a guy who just wasn't really afraid to be himself, and I thought you always have to have a guy who's the life of the locker room, and
Mhm.
I feel like a lot of Lions fans felt like they've got rid of that. So. But it seems like it's always deeper than that, and at the end of the game, it's a business. So
All right.
obviously, they couldn't come to terms.
I agree. Of course, I don't know who to believe in the whole situation. There is definitely a lot of blame game going around. Which, was it the agent's fault? Was it the Lions' fault? Did the Lions really not want him back? It was a lot of going back and forth. But as you said, we have to move on. So what we will do is we will move on, and let's look at who the Lions did sign. So I'm going to scroll through the list right here, and we're going to talk about each person that we signed, starting with running back David Montgomery. What was your thoughts on us picking him up?
Yeah, I still got to do more research on David Montgomery. I'll be honest, since he plays for the Bears, it's not really a guy that you think I would notice him more
Right.
since we play them twice a year. But he's really not a guy who I've actually paid attention to. But it seems like he's just a younger, better Jamal Williams, to be honest. And at the end of the
Correct.
day, I think he's gonna take a lot of the workload off DeAndre Swift because I saw the Lions said something about that today. How Swift said that it'll be really nice to play with him.
I agree. I do know a little bit about David Montgomery. I know that I didn't see him a lot. He wasn't like the feature back, but he's also not coming in here to be the featured back. He's coming in to relieve Swift and to pick up short yardage. And you're right, he is a younger version of Jamal Williams. He is a good short yardage back, and I believe that is the role that he would pick up. Let's move on and let's talk about Cameron Sutton, the cornerback from the Pittsburgh Steelers, who we are bringing in. It's been said that there are people who think that this guy is a lockdown corner. I saw a stat that said that I think that he was receivers were averaging 0.8 yards against him compared to Akuda's 1.7 or something like that. But basically, they're saying that they're bringing him in to be the number one corner. What are your thoughts on Cameron Sutton coming in?
Oh wow. See, I didn't know they wanted him to be the number one guy. See,
Yes.
I don't really like all that, to be honest. I think if you were gonna try to bring in a corner to be the number one guy, I guess you might as well try to draft one. Get one in the draft. But this is another guy who I've heard his name around the league, but I just haven't seen much of him. I heard from
Right.
Steelers fans that he's been in the league for 5 years, and really he just had his good year last year apparently. So
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe he'll be decent from Jeff Okuda because I don't know why people think that. For some reason, I think people think that Emmanuel Mobley and Cameron Sutton are going to be the two outside corners, but I think it should be Cameron Sutton and Jeff Okuda. I don't think Jeff Okuda is going to be the nickel corner. I'm sure that could be Jerry Jacobs and Will Harris, or maybe it'll be Jerry Jacobs and Mosley.
Agreed, agreed. I know his name. I don't know a lot about him. I just know the statistics that we read about him, but that is what they're saying. You know, I was just as you were talking, I was kind of looking over some of what they were saying on the screen, like what does it mean for the Lions and what's at risk. But I do believe that they're bringing him in to be the main corner. Speaking of corners, they also signed Emmanuel Mosley from the San Francisco 49ers. What are your thoughts on us bringing in not one but two corners?
I mean, I see. It makes me nervous because, like, they brought in two decent corners, so it kind of makes me think they're going to shy away from taking a corner in the draft. Which,
Right.
since sadly they couldn't get Jalen Ramsey, I kind of am hoping that they take a corner in the draft now because I still, I think you should. I'd rather have them go for a younger talent that maybe could be locked down than, I mean, to be honest, two, above, slightly above average corners.
Right. I agree. I think that is kind of the angle there they were going at, is that if they could get some already proven corners, because there are other Lions fans who I have noticed out here on Twitter who have said things like people don't realize how long it takes to develop corners, and they like these moves because they're saying that we're bringing in some corners that are already ready to go. All right, what about, let's move on. Oh, here we go. Here's a good one. We are bringing back Isaiah Buggs at D tackle. What's your thoughts?
Oh yeah, yeah, I think that's a good move. Really, the whole defensive line started coming on near the end of the season, so yeah,
True.
especially him.
Yeah, especially him. Yes, he did. I thought that was a very good sign, and he's young, and he did start to come on towards the end of the season. Speaking of bringing back, we're bringing back linebacker Alex Anzalone. One of the moves that I thought was going to get a little shaky. I kind of had a feeling the Lions may not have brought him back, but they did. What's your thoughts on us bringing back Anzalone for a second season?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm hearing that they overpaid for a little bit for him. I don't really care about the move. I think if they build through the draft and get a linebacker, that's going to be more. I always talk about this, like more of an Isaiah Simmons type linebacker. Then they can make Alex Anzalone, like they can make him more like a run support type guy because he was terrible in the past, to be
Agreed.
honest. So yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, he was. Moving on, Matt Nelson. He was one of our backup tackles. He moved around a lot. This was a move that I liked. I wanted them to keep that offensive line particularly intact. It's a he came in when they needed him to, because there was a lot of times we had guys hurt on the line, particularly at right guard, and he was a strength playing on both sides. Primarily at tackle. Any thoughts on Matt Nelson?
Um, you know, so wait, so he came in when Vitae got hurt, or
He played when he was in when Vitae got hurt. He played. He was more of a backup though. He was more of a
okay.
the backup role. He did
Yeah,
play. He did play some when Decker was still hurt, but he was more of a backup.
yeah, I'd say that's a decent signing, I guess. I mean, it's always good to have depth in line.
Yes, it
I know
is.
they oh well, yeah, I'm sure you're about to get to Glasgow soon.
Oh yeah. Well, oh yeah. Nope. Before we get to him, John Kaminsky, defensive end. Now you and I talked about this at the end of the season. If this was a guy that we should bring back, we are bringing him back. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that kind of ties in back with Isaiah Buggs. Like we started to say, the whole defensive line started coming along. He was another guy that I really started to notice near the end of the season too.
Yes, and I'm gonna tell you why I like the move, son, is because I can't remember who it was, but it was a Philadelphia Eagles defensive coordinator who said that you can never have enough pass rushers. You can never have enough guys on the D line. So I thought that this was a good move by the Lions. And you just mentioned him, and we're talking about Graham Glasgow, a guy who actually played for the Lions. We drafted him a few years ago before he went to the Broncos. The Broncos, yes, I think it was the Broncos he went
Yeah.
to, and now he's coming back. What's your thoughts on us adding depth to the offensive line?
Yeah, I think that's good. I trust in Brad Holmes because the Lions they've honestly had a top 10 offensive line in the making for the past few years now. So they must know something that we don't about Graham Glasgow to bring him back. I mean, he already was on the Lions. So
and he actually was playing pretty good before he left the Lions. That's why he left, because the Lions didn't have the money to pay him.
See, okay, yeah.
Hmm. Okay, moving on. Craig Reynolds, running back, a guy that we liked before this season. That the Lions are bringing him back. What are your thoughts on Craig Reynolds?
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad addition. I just think it shows, like, kind of like the corners. I think it shows that they might not be taking a running back through the draft because they did the free agency signing with Montgomery, and now they're also bringing back Craig Reynolds.
Yes, it's a good safe sign. He's solid. If nothing else, you bring him back, and if you have to put him on the practice squad, you do. But he's a glue guy that you wanna keep around. I would agree. Now here's a signing, son, that did surprise me a little bit. Cornerback Will Harris. We're bringing him back. What are your thoughts on Will Harris coming back in the fold?
Yeah, I kind of don't understand this one. It kind of shows that the Lions are like, it makes it seem like they're like triple downing on not getting a cornerback, which I don't really
Right.
like, to be honest, because I remember constantly wondering. I'm pretty sure he's number 25 or something. I would always be wondering what number was getting cooked out there, and I swear it'd always be him, either holding somebody or getting cooked. He's the guy where Christian Watson would constantly just where Aaron Rodgers would overthrow him and then Christian Watson would just moss him. I remember complaining about that quite a bit. So
Yes, but for some reason, I mean, or I shouldn't say for some reason, I should say Brad Holmes seems that he wants to keep our young talent and develop them. And the last guy on the list is kicker Mike Badgley.
the money
The,
badger.
the money, there you go. That's what they call him, the money badger. Bringing him back. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think that's a fine signing. He was pretty decent. Better because I thought we had a different kicker earlier in the season, so he's better than the other guy that we had.
Oh yeah, you are not wrong about that.
Yeah.
We went through quite a few kickers, and it didn't turn out, it did not turn out too well. So he, for what it's worth, he did, he did pretty well. I will say that he did pretty well, and it's worth bringing him back. But when we get into it, we're going to talk about should the Lions bring in another kicker, which I'm all in favor of them bringing in somebody for competition. I'm just going through Lions Twitter real quick, and I just wanted us to maybe look at some of these clips over the last few days to see what's going on with free agency. Here's David Montgomery talking. Let's listen in and see what he's talking about.
So,
Let
I'm
me see if I can
I'm
start that over.
to get opportunity
There it is.
to
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
opportunity to come here and play with a team that's starting something crazy, being able to say that I can be a part of it. I'm blessed. You know, I'm feel very, very excited to be able to get in that offense. That's so powerful and dynamic. So I'm excited to be here. To
Okay,
get
and that is
opportunity to
that was
come
David Montgomery talking about being excited to be a Lion. That was more David Montgomery. Here's a little more of him right here talking about being a Lion. And, he's just like Jamal Williams when he came from the Packers. He seems pretty excited to come in against a division foe, which I like because just like the Jamal Williams signing, a lot of time those guys have chip on their shoulders and seem like they have a lot to play for.
here, finally touched
Yeah.
down, D. Hey, let's get this thing rocking, man. Detroit, I'm ready to do it. And you know what it's got right here. Yes, Sirski.
Okay, and I want to see if I could find a couple of the corners because I thought I saw a couple of the corners talking. Here's Manny Mosley right here. Let's listen in and let's listen in and see what he's
know,
talking about.
fiery man. I just love the energy, because that's how I am. Like I'm a mellow guy, but on the field, I believe that I'm a fiery guy. Like I love the energy that he brings. I just see the passion that he coaches with. When his guys make plays, he's out there yelling with them on the field. I love that, and I just can't wait to be playing underneath that.
And
Fiery
that's
man.
and that's Manny. He was talking about Coach Dan Campbell. Looking forward to playing with him. There's more Manly Mosley. I was trying to see if we had something on Cam Sutton talking. I don't see anything. Maybe it was farther back. So we'll leave that there. But what we will do now is let's talk about, son, let's talk about the draft. Let's talk about you and I both have done a mock draft. So now that we have our first waiver free agency, we can move to. But before we move to the mock draft, let's talk about free agents who are still out there. Is I have one. Do you have at least one free agent who's still out there, or even a position that you think that we should pick up as a free agent?
Oh man, I say not really anymore. I've noticed that free agency board. There's not really a guy that really stands out to me. I mean, it's not like they're gonna go get Stephon Diggs or anything. So
Right. Well, I have one. I would like to see us bring in Teddy Bridgewater, unless he's been signed in the last 2 days when I've been out of the loop. But I would love to see us bring in Teddy Bridgewater. The reason why is because if for some reason, remember, we are talking about a playoff push this year. If Jared Goff goes down, we need a reliable backup. I'm sorry, but we can't have David Blau or the other guy whose name I can't remember as the guy that's going to come in for the
yeah,
playoff push. We need a veteran backup quarterback who can pick up where Goff left off and still get us into the playoffs. But that's fine. But you said you don't have anybody that comes to mind. That's just the one guy who came to my mind.
yeah,
But still,
Yeah, that'd be a good one. But yeah, there's no one that particularly jumps out to me that I mean I think they could get.
okay, okay,
But
fair enough,
yeah,
fair enough. All right. Well, speaking of, let's move on to our mock draft. So I will put mines up first. I did a 7 round mock draft, and I will tell everybody what I did. I had the Lions trade with the Falcons. What I did was I went from 6 to 8. So we gave up our 6th pick in the first round. We got the Falcons' 8th pick, and we picked up another 2nd round pick. And then later on, I traded our 6th round pick, and I moved farther back in the 6th round and got a 7th round pick from the Bengals. So
okay.
go over my mock draft. I'm gonna go over it, and you can give. I want you to give me your thoughts on what you think. According to these guys, I had a pretty good mock draft. I had the Lions with the 8th pick in the first round, move back 2 spots and get Tyree Wilson. Everybody say that he's a can't miss pass rusher. And even though we have decent pass rushers to go, well, Hutchinson lived up to the hype, but we still have Pascal, we still have Houston, we brought back Kaminsky. I don't know what's going to happen with Austin Bryant. I don't know if we're bringing him back or not, but it won't hurt to have another pass rusher. What do you think about me having Tyree Wilson there with that pick? Get another
Yeah, no,
edge.
I agree with that. I mean, I was looking. It was really between an edge and a D lineman that I think the Lions should do for that first pick. So, yeah, I think that's a pretty good one.
Okay. And what our second pick in the first round, I have defensive tackle Kalijah Cansey from Pittsburgh.
Okay. See, I'll be honest, I have not heard of him, but when I was looking on PFF, I did see him on the board. So, I think that's another good pick because I don't even know who do we have on the interior? Is it McNeil?
We have McNeil. We have Lynn McNeil who played up to the hype, and we have oh my goodness, I can see him, son, but his name slips my mind. He's got another long last name, and I'm literally drawing a blank, but I can
Yeah,
see him.
exactly why we would need another D
There you
lineman.
go.
So,
Exactly why. Okay, moving to the 2nd round. With my trade, we have 3 2nd round picks. So with the first one, pick 44, I had him taking Daylon Henley out of Washington State. He's a versatile linebacker. So you see, I went defense with the first 3 picks. With our second round pick, I have him taking Joe Tittman. He's a center out of Wisconsin, but I picked him because he was the next best interior lineman on the board. I would want to move him to right guard. Now they gave me a D for that pick. Maybe they thought I wanted him to be a center, but I'm picking him to be a right guard. And with the 3rd pick in the 2nd round, I have us taking Hendon Hooker, the quarterback out of Tennessee, to be a young developmental quarterback. What is your thoughts on my 2nd round picks?
see, I really like I like the DeJuan Henley one. I really think I think that guy's going to be a sleeper. That's what I was
Yes.
talking about when I said the Lions. That's why I don't mind that they kept Anzalone because I like the DeJuan Henley guy. He's
Yes.
really fast, and I think he can be like our Isaiah Simmons. Then again, I really like Hendon Hooker. Basically based on what you said, with the Lions being able to get a second round pick, then you might as well just pick up a quarterback
Young quarterback.
and be
Exactly.
behind Jared Goff.
Okay, okay. Then we move on to the third round. I have the Lions taking A.T. Perry, the wide receiver out of Wake Forest. The main reason I picked this guy, he's only 205 pounds, but he's 6'5".
Okay, yeah.
And because if we don't and I'm gonna tell you why I did this, son. If we don't re-sign DJ Chark, we need a tall receiver. And he was the next best and tallest receiver on the board. At the time where I picked him, he was the third receiver, but he was the tallest receiver. And PFF must like that they gave me a B- for it. What's your thoughts
Yeah.
on A.T. Perry?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty decent pick. I was I think if they did draft a receiver, that's pretty much a guy I was looking for, a jump ball guy. So definitely not a short guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown.
There you go, exactly. Moving on, we did not have a fourth round pick, so we didn't pick again into the fifth round, and I took running back Dwayne McBride out of UAB, a guy that I hear is good in the passing game, even though they didn't use him a lot there. And there are scouts who say that Dwayne McBride is going to be a sleeper running back, and that he should be a primary running back for a team.
Yeah. I mean, it's later in the round, so I think really it's one of those picks where, like, I guess it doesn't really matter that much. I think that their running back room is already kind of full, but
Right.
I guess it is the fifth round, and if he is a sleeper, I think they might as well do it, especially if he's a passing back too.
Yes. Okay. Moving on to the sixth round, where we have two picks. With the first pick in the sixth round, pick 182, I took tight end Davis Allen out of Clemson. And with the second pick, I took safety Various Owens out of Houston.
Okay. See, I like the Davis Allen pick. I see PFF likes that too, just because the Lions might as well get another tight end. I mean, I guess you can never have enough. I know they have James Wright and I forgot old boy's name, the other guy.
Yeah, Brock Wright and oh man, I'm drawing a blank. But I know who
Yeah.
yes. I'm drawing a blank.
Or
Okay.
James Mitchell or
Yeah,
something like
I
that.
know what you meant. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mitchell. I know what you meant.
But
Yeah, I know what you meant. Yeah.
and then the safety pick's not that bad either. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having depth at safety.
All
Is
right.
that a safety who can come up in the run, or is he straight up like
They say he can come up in a run. That's what I read about him. And then because of the trade I made, we have a 7th round pick, and I took kicker Jake Moody out of Michigan. I know I didn't pick him because we are Michigan Wolverine fans, but because they said that he was, as of least of today, the best ranked kicker on the board. He was the number one kicker on the board. So I figure we can 7th round pick. Well, would it hurt bring him in and let him go against your guy, the Money Badger, and compete there?
Yeah, I agree with that pick, because he's from Michigan too. I can't help it.
Okay.
So yeah, I wouldn't mind that pick.
Okay. If you don't mind, bring up your mock draft so we can look at yours. I haven't
Okay,
seen
yeah.
yours yet, so I'm excited to see what you have.
Yeah. I would say, hold on. I'll have to how were you able to wait, hold on. Let me try to share it. I wonder if it shares my whole screen. Hold on.
Yeah, what you should do is just say share, and then
Oh,
it'll
that's
say
how it
yeah
works. I can pick a tab. Can you see it?
not yet,
Or is it
not yet.
I might turn on my
Oh, there you
camera.
are. Here you are. I see it.
Oh, you see it now?
You know what happened? I had to hit when you presented it. I had to
Oh, you
hit
have to
present
accept
it.
it?
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. There
okay.
you go. Okay. So it looks like you did yours with no trades.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go. Let's see what you got.
So can you see me scrolling on it, or is it static?
I can see you scrolling.
Okay, okay. All right. So, they didn't like, I guess they didn't like the Brian VC pick. I honestly
Oh
think that's a
man.
must pick. I don't know why they gave it a D minus. I kind of wish they could give me feedback, because I'm honestly, I mean, he's a top guy and I really like his
Yes.
highlights. I think it's a guy they need to get. So, I mean, that's really all I got to say about him.
Well, let me
He's
jump in on
athletic.
that. I almost picked him in my mock draft. I mean, I
Yeah.
almost picked him. But I went ahead and went with Wilson. Okay, go ahead. Go to your next pick.
Oh, and then, this is why I was saying I don't like what the Lions are doing, because now that I'm looking at Emmanuel Mosley's highlights, he is an outside corner. So maybe you were right. Cameron Sutton and Emmanuel Mosley might be those starting corners. But I mean, I wish they'd at first I was against him getting the corner, but I mean, I think they should go ahead and get Joey Porter. The guy is 6'2", and he's super
Right.
technical. They say he has he can't really catch the ball that much, but that doesn't really matter at corner. He's a lockdown guy. They say that he has really amazing instincts too. I mean, I think it's a guy they need to get, but I don't know if they're going to do it now because they assigned so many corners in the offseason.
And
But this is really based off what I would do though.
okay, I'm not gonna lie, that's not a bad pick either. To still get, I gotta tell you something. I gotta be honest. Even though we've picked up so many corners, I still almost drafted Christian Gonzalez with that sixth pick.
See, yeah, that's what I was thinking about too.
Because if he's what they say he's gonna be, I'm thinking to myself, if you can still draft Gonzalez, you can have Mosley, you can have Sutton, you can have Akuda. That's four. You have Will Harris, you have our boy Jerry Jacobs. That's six. To add depth to the corner, but it is what it is. Okay, let's move on to your second round picks.
Yeah, so we pretty much agreed with the linebacker. I really think, really, these first three picks, I really wish they could get them. I really like the DeJuan Henley guy. Like I said,
Yes.
I think he runs like a 4.5 40 or something like that. And I really think he'll be nice in the pass coverage. And they really need a quick linebacker who can not only step up to get the running back, but can be nice in pass coverage too.
Okay. Okay. I agree. And what about your next second round pick?
See, I really didn't know what to do with this second round because I was so happy with these first three picks. I really didn't know what to do with this second round pick, but
Okay.
basically this Tanner McKee guy is Jared Goff light, if I'm being honest. If you
Okay.
look at his analysis, they say he plays like a corner or like a quarterback from the 1990s to the 2000s, but I hear he is a little more athletic. So I think it's a guy who why not get him? I mean, if they don't get Teddy Bridgewater, this could be a depth guy that they have that can step in.
Okay. Yeah, not bad, not bad. And then in the third round, you have one pick in the third round. Tell us about your guy.
Yeah, I like this guy, Cedric Tillman. He's not too fast. Maybe that's why he's honestly not that high. Oh, I like that you can actually see his rank. So you can see that he's ranked 112. So I have him getting picked probably higher than what he'll actually go. But I like him because I think he's 6'3". He's 6'3" and he has a little bit of weight on him. So he's kind
Okay.
of a jump ball guy.
Jump ball
That's
guy.
why,
Okay.
I mean, I think they might as well, that's why I had to pick there.
Okay. I do not mind another receiver at all. I'm looking at your board. Of course, we don't have any fourth round picks, so let's go to your fifth round pick.
Yeah, I was saying I like this guy, Yasser Abdullah. I think he's so low. I was looking in the comments because I just took a peek at some of these guys' highlights. He seems like he's a really quick edge, but he's just a little underweight though. So that could be his only downfall.
What
But
is he like in the 230s?
let me look him up. He might be less than that.
Oh, okay. That type of edge. Okay. Kind of like I'm trying to think what guy I can compare him to. Yeah, yeah, basically a guy that's a little like he's probably not in the 240s or low 250s is what you're saying.
Well, yeah, they got him at 6'1", 235.
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
he's small, but he's quick though.
He's quick though. Okay. And then
Yeah.
let's finish it up with your 2 6th round picks. So tell us about your guys.
Yeah, I'll be honest. These two, I don't know much about these two guys. They were really just depth picks. I noticed that you had Davis Allen on yours, so that's really the main reason I took him with the last pick. And then the Aubrey Miller guy, I honestly took him because they got who did they get from Jackson State last
James
year?
Houston.
Yeah, I just said, maybe Jackson State's a linebacker factory, a linebacker edge factory. So
Right.
maybe they should just get Aubrey Miller because really I forgot about Anzalone, and it seems like Aubrey Miller could be more of a run stopping linebacker.
Run something like okay. And yes, and Davis Allen, yes, it's good to get that tight end. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, not a bad mock draft. I'm looking at it. We have a lot. I mean, not the same players we have, but we have a lot of the same mindsets. We have an interior lineman, a linebacker, we have a DB. You took a corner, I took a safety. We each have a young, future developed quarterback. We each have a tall receiver. We each took an edge. So we pretty much kind of had the same things going on. What a good thing is that this is just the first wave. I mean, free agency is kind of winding down. I mean, all the big names are pretty much off the board. There's still some semi guys out there, But of course, as we get closer to the draft, because we are still about 5 weeks away from the draft, maybe after some pro days, we'll do another show, and we may even do another mock draft because after they start doing pro days, some of these guys are going to go up and down, and there's going to be more trades. We already have the Carolina Panthers who traded up to number one. There could be a team that try to jump ahead of the Lions to get it was somebody I heard that they said might try to jump up because there's a quarterback they may want, and they might want to jump up to where the Cardinals are, which if they jump up to where the Cardinals are, that means that there's a guy there that might drop down to where we need him to be by the name of Will Anderson. So you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So we'll see. I mean, if somebody jumps up to the Cardinals and that team happens to be behind the Lions, it would only be the Seahawks in our way. And if we do now Will Anderson, that would be 2 years in a row that we would have a dog edge rusher in the first 10 picks. But I guess we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that'd be beautiful.
Yep. Other than that, I think we covered pretty much everything. Go ahead, son. Go ahead and share our TikTok for those who don't know.
Oh yeah. Check us out at it's the Lyons Den Pod. You can check us out on TikTok. After every episode that we do on YouTube, I try to put a few TikToks out. But yeah, just make sure to go show us some love on there.
Oh yeah, we actually appreciate it. Pretty much, Lion fans, that's all we have. We haven't did this show this long in a while, but we were very excited to talk about free agency and to talk about what could be coming up in the draft. That is coming up. Other than that, son, if you don't have anything else, that's all. That's all I have. That's
No, I don't.
until later. Peace.
Yeah, peace.